How pleasing is it to have made the third round of the FA Youth Cup this year?
Yeah, very pleased with that. I think that we're really trying to treat the game as normal as possible and keep the players in the usual mindset they have for their week-to-week league games. But I think it's probably my 9th year of being involved with the under-18s in the Youth Cup, and only the third time we've been this far. So I think last season we made the 4th round, lost away at Blackpool a few years back in the 3rd round. So it's just a nice experience for the players to progress that a little bit further in the competition.
How far do you feel this under-18s group can go, because they're doing very well in the league as well, aren't they?
Yeah, good group, certainly made a good start to the season. I think it's the beauty of football, isn't it? It will depend on how the game goes on the night. It will depend on, do we play at our best, do Wigan play at their best? Is there a little bit of luck or a little bit of a refereeing decision that goes in the favour of one team or another? If you go through, who do you draw in the next round? So I'd like to think this group have got the potential and the capability to go further than we've been before. They're certainly capable of making it through to the 4th, 5th round and beyond, but who knows?
Of course, played MK Dons in the last round at St James's Park, which will have been a different experience for the under-18s group. But how pleased were you with the performance at St James's Park?
Yeah, I think over the years of doing it, what we've tended to see is that on a Youth Cup night, the players freeze a little bit, and the surroundings of the stadium, floodlights, a little bit more of a crowd than normal. Players have tended to underperform. Now, that's not the be-all and end-all. Someone like Matt Grimes probably put in one of his worst ever performances in the FA Youth Cup, and we lost at Argyle, playing at Home Park. I think it was a 1st round game in Matt's year when he was a second-year scholar, finishing his time in the under-18s. And so, just because you have a poor game in the Youth Cup, if you have a poor game in the Youth Cup, that doesn't mean that's the end of your football career. He's obviously gone on and done very well. But what was most pleasing about the MK Dons game was that the lads performed far closer to their normal level and showed what they're capable of. So we hope we get that again against Wigan.
And I suppose it's beneficial as well to play at the stadium and in front of a crowd for when they want to break in the first team to learn.
Yeah, it's just all part of their development, and as much as it's nice to win, and it's certainly better to win than lose, and of course we're aiming to win the game. We're not trying to do a week's worth of preparation and training and all of that effort. We're not trying to lose, but the result actually for these players isn't the be-all and end-all. It's about the experience, it's about their development and progression, and it's about preparing them for first-team football. So the biggest bonus to progressing in the competition is they get more goes at playing in a stadium and getting used to what that environment's like for a first-team player.
How talented is this under-18s group as well? Because you've got a few that are training with the first team, and obviously Ethan Ampadu could possibly play in the FA Youth Cup as well, couldn't he?
Yeah, Ethan obviously still eligible to play for our under-16s, but I don't think he's played for the 16s all season. I think he might have had one 45-minute appearance away at Oxford in a league game. He's certainly not yet played in the Youth Cup, but obviously the first team at every football club comes first and takes priority, and while he's busy with first team duties, we won't expect him to be available for the under-18s too often. It's certainly a good group, in answer to your question. It's a good under-18 group, but whether they win the league or not ultimately doesn't have too much effect on the careers they have. So it's nice for them to win games, it's nice for them to pick up medals and trophies if that happens, but I'm not sure Grimesy won any medals, and yet he's doing very well in his football career. George Friend at Middlesbrough and Sean Goss at Man United. It's about the individual. So very good group, but the proof will be in 5 or 10 years time with how many of them have had sustained careers. And as much as it's nice that the Jordan Moore Taylors of the world are in our first team, the real proof of the pudding will be, can anyone follow in Grimesy and George Friend's footsteps and move on beyond our football club?
You mentioned quite a few names there that have come through the academy and gone on to have decent careers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a chance for supporters to come to the game on a week on Tuesday and see these players that possibly could go on and have decent careers, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that almost every game that we've ever been involved with at the stadium from an academy perspective, whether that was the Premier League Under-21s Cup, whether it was the Football League Under-18s Cup that we made the final of in Jordan Moore-Taylor's age group, whether it's the FA Youth Cup, I've always really enjoyed the atmosphere and the environment at the stadium when we have those games, and 200-300 creates a nice atmosphere. When we've had 500, 600, 700, 800 or 1,000 or more, the environment has been absolutely fantastic, and the fans that have been to watch have been very, very positive, very, very supportive of our young players. And we'd love, whether it's the Wigan game or hopefully a game beyond that, we'd love to get a big crowd in, we'd love to excite the supporters, and we'd love for them to believe in the talent that we've got coming through the system.